Hey everyone, and welcome back to the SCREENY. Gordon Ramsay has been on our screens for so long, it's no wonder his face is more wrinkled than a prune. We can't help but love him and loathe him in equal measure. He's provided us with so much TV gold that he's basically an entertainment god. We can't fault him for that. He is more famous for his furious temper than his cooking talent these days, so let's take a look at Times Gordon Ramsay Lost it on camera. But before we begin, do us a favor by clicking that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a video on your favorite TV shows. What is that? Hell's Kitchen isn't for the faint of heart. You have to literally be made of steel to go on that show, which is why it's always surprising when weak-willed contestants turn up. Like, don't you know who you're gonna be cooking for? This is Gordon Ramsay. He's not gonna hold your hands while you cry in the pantry and sneak you ice cream when no one's looking. During a particularly busy dinner service on the show, Ramsay was relying on one of the chefs to get the entrees out on time. To say he was disappointed in the result is an understatement. Giovanni caught the brunt of Chef Ramsay's wrath, with the British TV star calling him a whole bunch of things that we can't repeat. Honestly, he needs to wash his mouth out with soap, the naughty scamp. In fairness to Giovanni, he tried to stand up for himself, but that just made Gordon even worse. Ramsay gets right up in his face so close that Giovanni could probably see what he had for breakfast. French pig. Gordon has hit the headlines over the course of his career for being rude and aggressive and, in some cases, racist. He hits out at one reporter for her sexuality and has been accused of all sorts by people that have worked with him in the past. It's not hard to believe, considering that his on-screen persona leaves something to be desired. In an episode of Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon changes the menu and the French chef isn't entirely happy about it. In fact, he tells Ramsay that his menu was better and Gordon doesn't have a spot on him. The conversation gets incredibly heated, which is made more intense by the teeny tiny cupboard space that they're talking in. There's no room for them to move, let alone have a heated discussion. There's a lot of finger pointing and shouting before Gordon calls the chef a French pig. The rest of the staff look on in horror as the events unfold. Chef Ramsay eventually makes an exit to get some air as the diners listen in. Chef Brian Showdown. Hotel Hell is another jewel in the crown of Gordon's various TV enterprises. While trying to drag up an establishment that's failing terribly, Gordon looks at most aspects of the business. Not only does he survey the rooms and management, but he focuses on what he knows best: the kitchen. He takes a seat at the restaurant table, which is fairly busy. What he doesn't find impressive is the manager's attitude towards the food, which he openly admits is as dry as a bone.
Chicken under a brick, what does that actually mean?
It means it's drier than a bone.
Was he just worried about what the chef might say and preempting it? Gordon eventually makes an order, including the chocolate pig, a dessert pizza that mixes chocolate with bacon. The brick chicken is dry and unappetizing, and the pasta is just awful, according to the G-Man. When the dessert comes out, Ramsay says it looks like something he would have wiped his butt with.
It's like we've had a crisis with the toilet paper department and someone's wiped their ass with my dough.
You can't get more complimentary than that, can you? He might not have gone completely nuts, but his face says it all. AVOCA-NO. Kitchen Nightmares must be one of our favorite shows. It's just too good. Although, it's enough to put you off eating out when you see what's lurking in some of the store cupboards. You would think that restaurants would sort themselves out once they know they're getting a visit from Ramsay, but that just wouldn't make for good television, would it? Gordon has seen a lot of things in his time, but he was mortified to discover bags of rotting vegetables in one dinery. Avocados, parsnips, disgusting veal, and more was all festering in the walk-in. Gordon took his findings out to the kitchen staff and quizzed the owner on why it was there. Her response was simply,
"These are mine. I don't serve these. These are mine."
As if it didn't matter that she had all that gross stuff in the storage area. Yuck! Gordon didn't let it slide though, especially when one staff member started laughing.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
The family-run business really rattled him, and he accused them of not caring. It certainly looked like it. The piece de resistance came when a server happened to find a hair in the food while this was all going on. Perfection. It's raw! What's the first thing that you learn in your working class life besides how to make a decent cup of coffee? It's probably respecting your boss, right? Get on the bad side of the powers that be and your life can be made hell and your job hangs in the balance. That's just in normal life too. When Gordon Ramsay is the head honcho, you just say, yes chef, no chef, of course chef, and literally nothing else. You do as you're told, and you keep your head down. On Hell's Kitchen, it's even worse. Gordon was doing his thing and going off on his team for serving raw food.
It's raw, Melissa!
Yes, chef.
When one contestant by the name of Boris decided it would be funny to mock him.
It's raw! Raw.
No one dared crack a smile, especially Gordon, who flipped his lid. He got so angry that his eyes looked like they were about to explode. Boris, by this point completely terrified, didn't find any parts of the situation funny at all. So that's raw food, a furious boss, and a pint of humiliation to wash it down. Sounds like our first job, alright. Customer chaos. You might think that Gordon is all sunshine and smiles with the customers in order to get them to part with their cold hard cash, but it's not always that way. In fact, they can rile him up just as much as the chefs can, although we don't often see it. In one episode of Kitchen Nightmares, Gordon spends a lot of his time revamping the restaurant and is busy making sure everything goes swimmingly for the relaunch. Customers seem to be loving everything, but one lady is a little less than pleased. Why? According to her, it's absolutely terrible and she could cook better than that. The server thought she was kidding, but the entire family agrees that the food was only fit for a dog. Well, that reaction certainly made Gordon bark. The waiter lets Ramsay review the food, but Gordon can't quite see there's anything wrong with it. He marches right out onto the floor to confront the family himself. Oy vey. Granted, he doesn't go as crazy as her as he would on his team, but it's hilariously uncomfortable to watch. Who wants to be told they're talking out of their rear? Lies, lies, lies. Okay, let's revisit what we learned in our earlier entry. What shouldn't you do when you work for someone? Definitely don't mock them. Check. Lie to them when you're asked an outright question. Well, most of us have that one down, but not this chef. He simply loved his deep fat fryer so much that he couldn't bear to part with it. When he made a few batches of roast potatoes, he assures his boss that they absolutely hadn't been in the fryer at all. It soon became clear that the chef was a liar, pants on fire when Gordon discovered a potato lingering at the bottom of the machine. Ramsay ordered the chef to tell the truth, but he maintained his innocence throughout with a stern face. Gordon went mad at him, and yet the chef still didn't confess. A kitchen hand told the real story in the end. You could have cut the tension in the kitchen with a knife. You sort of ended up feeling sorry for the poor chef who kept his job by a whisker. Here, pigeon. Let's play a game. You're sat in a restaurant. What do you expect to see? Some salt shakers, some cutlery, some food, maybe a pigeon or two? Yeah, it's not quite in keeping with what you'd like, is it? No one wants to eat in the same place that is home to a disease-ridden bird. Gordon went through a freezer to find tons of old crab meat festering. Then he went down to the basement to discover tons of chickens bagged up and left to rot. It's painfully bad. There was meat everywhere, fridges full to the brim with this stuff, and a pigeon flying about in the kitchen like it was Notre Dame. Was it trying to end up on the menu? Lobsters were found swimming in their own juices in the fridge, clearly there for a long-term vacation. Nearly all the good produce was dead and gone and has been for some time. It's amazing that this place didn't get sued for poisoning a bunch of patrons. It was that bad. Who needs that? Gross, man! Duck and cover. Let's finish this with a brilliant clip from a Hell's Kitchen celebrity special starring Amanda Barry. Barry is a celebrated British actress, having appeared on one of England's top soaps, Coronation Street, for over 20 years. She didn't like Gordon from the start and wasn't the type of person that could take orders very easily. Ramsay called her over to talk to her, but she wasn't interested in chatting at all. Barry began crying as she felt like she was doing too much work. Gordon kept calm throughout the exchange, reminding the contestant that she did sign up for this and would have known that it wasn't a walk in the park. Clearly infuriated by his patronizing tone, the actress became so enraged that she snapped and went to slap him in the face. Gordon managed to catch her arm at the last second, but Amanda wasn't done. She tried and failed to hit him again before her teammates rallied around her and told her to calm down. Maybe it's all the soap training, but it was certainly dramatic enough to warrant a place on this list. Thank you very much for watching today's video. Make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos on your favorite TV shows and tap one of the 2 videos on screen for another amazing video.